So I saw this post and this picture that the white man wrote the Bible to enslave us.
Hello, Pastor John. I'm Daddy Freeze, convener of the Free the Sheeple movement and leader of the Free Nation in Christ. I greet you and I bring glad tidings. The essence of my video is to respond to your claims. You're responding to Pastor Toby Adegboyega, who said the Oyinbo masters were the ones that brought the Bible to Africa. So let us have a conversation around this. Let's interrogate our facts and be able to come to a more conclusive end. Now, guys, please don't attack Pastor John. Pastor John is a great guy. I don't agree with him entirely. I agree with him in some instances and in some I don't. But that doesn't mean we're quarreling or fighting. Let this be a very wholesome conversation. God bless us. So let's listen to Pastor John.
So I saw this post and this picture that the white man wrote the Bible to enslave us. This is not new to me because every few years this resurfaces. So let's deal with this with facts. Please note that the Bible was not written in London. It wasn't written in America. Neither was it written in Rome. The Hebrew scriptures was written in the ancient Near East. And that was century before the Europeans became Christians. The New Testament, on the other hand, was written in the 1st century by Jewish authors in Judea and Asia Minor. The only non-Jewish author was Luke, who was a Gentile.
So, guys, we're technically talking about two separate things. The scriptures and the Bible are not the same. The scriptures, many of the disciples saw, they quoted. The scriptures say, the scriptures say. The Bible is the coming together of the New and the Old Testament. The scriptures were the Hebrew Bible, while the Bible is the canon, the New and the Old Testament. And the earliest example of a canon can be traced to both the Codex Vaticanus and the Codex Sinaiticus that were allegedly put together in Egypt around 367 AD. So the first proper Bible was put together in Egypt. So that looks like a win for Africa. But they were written in Greek. Why? Because Palestine, which is geographically where Christ came from, was colonized by Alexander the Great. So Jews in diaspora spoke Greek. But this also brings me to a very important question. If Christ, who spoke Hebrew and Aramaic and preached in Hebrew and Aramaic, how come his sermons were in the Oyinbo man's language, which is Greek? Another very important point to ponder is the codices were not written the way books are written today. They used a style called scriptio continua, meaning there were no breaks in the alphabet. It's an example. That's not how the Bible is. So we're going to break down how the Bible became what it is today. Another thing is the Codex Sinaiticus, or the Sinai Bible, had many books that were not included in today's Bible, like the Epistle of Barnabas, the Shepherd of Hermas, and it omitted the longer ending of Mark that you find in most Bibles today. Another thing is the Old Testament in the Codex Sinaiticus was not the Hebrew Masoretic text of the Hebrew Bible, but rather the Greek Septuagint. Another point to consider is the Ethiopian Bible, which is one of the oldest Bibles, contains between 81 and 88 books, and contains books like the Book of Enoch, the Book of Maccabees, the Book of Jubilees, which we don't find in today's Bible, the King James Bible that most Christians swear by. So the Bible as it is today, is it the Codex Sinaiticus or the Codex Vaticanus of Alexandria in Egypt? Is it the Ethiopian Bible of Ethiopia? Or is it the King James Bible of Europe? That's a conversation we need to have.
So Jesus of Nazareth was a Middle East Jew. So the language of the scriptures are Aramaic, Hebrew, and Greek, not English, Latin, or German.
The New Testament was first written in Greek, Koine Greek. Koine Greek, just like English and Latin and French, are European, not Middle Eastern languages. So the New Testament was first written in a European language.
So by the time the Europeans embraced Christianity in the 4th century under Constantine, Scriptures have been handed down and transmitted for more than 300 years.
Once again, Pastor John, the scriptures, yes, the Bible, no. The Codex Sinaiticus is the oldest along the Codex Vaticanus example of the Bible. And if the Codex Sinaiticus and Vaticanus were around 330 to 360 AD, and Constantine gave Jerome, Saint Jerome, the task of putting together the Biblia Sacra Vulgata, or the Latin Bible, which was completed around 405, is not 300 years. It's more like 50 to 100 years.
Christianity was flourishing in North Africa and Ethiopia before a large portion of Europe became Christian.
Although you're right, technically, Christianity was in Ethiopia before it went to Europe. The question is, what kind of Christianity did we have in Ethiopia? Have you ever seen Ethiopian Christians pray? They pray like Muslims pray.
These may look like Muslims praying, but these are actually Ethiopian Orthodox Christians. Now in Ethiopia, you have an Orthodox church known as the Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Church. And like Muslims, they pray in the same 4 positions: standing, bowing, prostrating, and sitting. Like Muslims, they pray at stated times. Attention is paid to modesty. And like Muslims, Ethiopian Orthodox Christians pray in congregation or by themselves.
The version of Christianity we have in Nigeria today was nowhere like the Ethiopian Christianity. Rather, it's the European Christianity. Pentecostal from the US. Anglican, Methodist from England. Roman Catholic from Rome. The Christianity practiced in Africa today bears no semblance to the Christianity of Ethiopia. Rather, it is purely European.
Alexandria in Egypt was a theological powerhouse. Athanasius, Tertullian, Augustine were African church fathers that shaped Christian doctrine early before colonialism. So historically, Christianity did not occur or happen as an European project. Now let's take the discussion to a very honest point. Colonial powers actually misuse scriptures. Yes, they weaponized texts for control, but misuse did not equal authorship. So if someone misuses a medical textbook to harm people, it does not mean they wrote medicine. We must distinguish between origin, authorship, transmission, and misuse.
While I agree with you technically, Pastor John, yes, misuse is different, but let's talk about authorship. Who numbered the Bible into chapters and verses? Was it the Africans or the Ethiopians? Who gave the world the authorized English version? King James. The version of the Bible that we have today, the version of Christianity that we have today, is unarguably European. There is no semblance to the Codex Sinaiticus or the Codex Vaticanus. There's no semblance to the Ethiopian Bible. Who removed the book of Enoch? Even the Dead Sea Scrolls had the book of Enoch. Who removed Jubilees and Maccabees? Come on. It's the Europeans. So we can technically say the Bible started in Alexandria, in Egypt, but the version that got to us came from England and Portugal and the United States of America and Rome. God bless you, Pastor John. We continue episode 2, maybe tomorrow.